Hey, it's John Nemo. Welcome back to another episode of Nemo Radio. We've got some Nemo video going for you YouTube fanatics. I wanted to talk today about how to really stand out on LinkedIn in terms of the content that you're publishing, the posts that you're sharing, the articles that you're writing, the videos that you're recording, the messages that you're sending, the audio that you're deploying. What goes into that? What really stands out from the crowd? How do you really get people to engage and listen and respond? And how do you turn those people into leads? What goes into that content, for lack of a better word? That's a question I get all the time. And it's critical because obviously, as you know, LinkedIn has, over 1 billion with a B users. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of competition. So how do you stand out from that crowd online? How do you get your stuff noticed when there's so much noise on that platform? And the best way to really explain this is to get in the time machine and go back to 1952. I have a point here, trust me. But we're going back to the 1950s. We'll go to the sock hop. We'll slick back our hair. We'll put on Elvis, right? But back then, one of the great books of all time was published, and that's The Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale. And he's got this great quote. I believe it's from that book or from one of his other ones of that era. But he says, do not be awestruck by other people and try to copy them. Now, keep in mind, he's saying this in 1952. Don't be awestruck by other people and try to copy them. And I love this line. He says, nobody can be you as efficiently as you can. Remember also that most people, despite their confident appearance and demeanor, are often as scared as you are and as doubtful as themselves. And again, he wrote that in 1952, but it's a perfect illustration of where we are here in the 21st century with social media. Because the great thing with social media is everyone can hide. Everyone can fake it. Everyone can pretend that their life is perfect. Hashtag blessed. You know, everything's easy. I've made millions. I've never struggled, right? And what you really understand is there's a couple different dynamics going on here. One is for you and I, it can be easy, and I still fall into this, if you and I aren't careful and we really compare our real life challenges to someone else's LinkedIn feed and LinkedIn posts and, perfectly polished photos and everything's easy and done well, we can start to feel like a failure. If you compare your real life to someone else's social media feeds, you're very quickly going to start thinking there's something wrong with you, right? And that you don't have it together and that it just must be easier for everyone else in your industry. And how come I'm struggling and nobody else is? And that's where I want to go, because I think there is that issue right now on LinkedIn and on every other social platform is people aren't really being transparent and authentic. And I think there's a craving for that online. There's a craving that people want to know, like, you're a real person. You've had a bad day once in your life, right? Like you've gotten fired, you've declared bankruptcy, whatever it is. The more you can be authentic and transparent in the content that you share, the more value you're going to see in the engagement that you get with people. And it's very simple because we're looking for real life connection. The reason that quote from 1952 is so powerful is people have not changed, right? We're looking to connect with other people who we feel like we have a vibe with, we can connect with, we can trust, we can know them, we can like them, we can feel comfortable around them. If someone's social media feed is so polished and so perfect that everything seems easy, then we as a prospect aren't going to approach them. We're going to feel like, well, I'm not good enough for them, or they won't be able to help me because they don't relate to my story and they've never struggled. I think about this where I really learned this kind of the hard way in some sense was back when I was doing online courses. I would follow the big online course creator gurus, right? And the whole appeal of online courses was, hey, bottle up your knowledge, create an online course and sell it over and over and over again. It's super easy, make it once, sell it for, eternity, run Facebook ads, run on-demand webinars, you'll be a gajillionaire, right? And I just saw one of those course creators that I follow bragging about how this person's business is now up to $100 million a year in online courses. And I'm like, wow, I never got anywhere. Right? I made sales and whatever, but I never hit $1 million a year in online courses or anything crazy like that. And I remember one of the online course gurus that I followed, this is probably 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I actually paid him $1,000 for an hour of coaching. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make some time open for $1,000. You can buy an hour of my time and pick my brain about marketing, online courses, all that stuff." And I was a big fan of this person, and he again had presented online and had done a really good job. And I'd bought his online courses on, wait for it, how to sell online courses, how to do webinars, but they were valuable, they were good, right? And so I remember I was so excited because I said to him, "Hey, I really want to, make $1 million a year in online courses. I want to hit 7 figures. What do I do? You're the guru. What's the secret sauce? I've bought all your trainings. I've implemented everything, and it hasn't happened for me." And I just remember him like, "Well, tell me more about your story." And so I started telling him everything. And he's like, "Well, listen, man, marketing's marketing. Sales is sales. Like, if I'm you, actually, what you're telling me about your situation, John, is where your high ticket value is people want you done for you. Like, they want to pay you to do it for them." He's like, "So why don't you scale yourself, and you can get to 7 figures a lot faster if you charge, 10 people this much, or, 100 people this much, versus selling a $47 online course to 100,000 people or whatever." And that, he was looking at it more like, what's kind of your unique position in the marketplace? What are people wanting to give you money for? And how can you get there as fast as possible, with the work-life balance you want and everything. And that was just an eye-opener to me. I was like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just maybe for my market and my type of online courses, which was LinkedIn, webinars, other things. And for the platform I had, I wasn't going to get there, right? Not easily anyway. Whereas this guy said, well, if your real goal is to hit 7 figures and work this many hours, what I'm hearing you say is, you've got people over here that'll pay you 5 figures to do done for you LinkedIn. Just do that. Like, just get a small amount of those people, you're cooking, right? And so it was very interesting to me. And it's that old thing of like, just because other people are bragging about how easy it is and how they've scaled and hit that, they're not telling you the full story. Like, I've literally never met another entrepreneur, another business owner who hasn't struggled. I remember speaking at Social Media Marketing World, which is known as one of the biggest conferences worldwide for social media marketing. And there's thousands of people go. And I got to go a few times to speak on LinkedIn lead generation. And I remember going into the green room or behind the scenes with all the other famous speakers. I was, of course, not famous and still am not, but people I followed and looked up to and was like, whoa, like, I follow them on social media. They must have it all figured out. And they were just regular schmoes. Like, they're regular people. And I'll never forget, one of them said to me, "I just play a character on the internet. Like, that's just what I do. Like, I'm a regular guy, And I was kind of disappointed, because I'm like, yeah, but your social media doesn't reflect that at all. And I think that's the other piece of this, with what should go into your content, what should go into your LinkedIn posts and updates and articles and videos, is it should be you. And going back to that Norman Vincent Peale quote is, nobody can be you as effectively as you can. And that's the big secret here with content and getting people to engage with you, is be yourself, be your unique self. There's only one of you. Last I checked, like, artificial intelligence, the robots, cloning has not happened yet, fully anyway. Your biggest advantage in the marketplace is you. It's your unique story. It's your unique journey. It's your unique personality. It's your unique communication style. It's your unique viewpoint of the world. It's your unique opinion, insight, idea, strategy, whatever you want it to be. And if you look at the most successful people online, the biggest personal brands anywhere, they're unique, right? And my business coach taught me this decades ago. Like, he said, the biggest sin in marketing is to be boring. Be yourself, right? Doesn't mean you have to fake it and be controversial and say crazy things just to get attention. Just be yourself. If you're an introvert who likes to sit and think and then publish really thoughtful posts, do that. Like, you're going to attract other introverts who like that approach to whatever your content is. And so you can really find your footing that way, because it's easy, because it's your real life. And the other real benefit to this is, when you talk to a prospect in real life who ideally has been going through your social media, your content, your videos, your books, your podcast, when they meet you in real life, that should be the same connection. They should be like, wow, you're just like your posts. You don't want people to get to you in real life and be like, oh, you're not at all what I thought you'd be. Like, your social media is so different. Like, for example, for me, I'm a complete goofball. I wear a baseball hat and a t-shirt. For me, a good day is if I shave, right? Like I'm not dressing up. I'm not wearing a suit and tie. I'm not trying to, be real formal and professional. I used to have that when I first started because I thought I had to. And my LinkedIn photo, like my LinkedIn profile photo, used to be me in a suit and tie. And I'll never forget meeting people early on at events, and they would get to know my real personality, and they'd be like, wow, like one guy said to me, I'll never forget, his name's Mike Kim. He's a great copywriting guy and personal branding guy. And he goes, I thought you were just going to be a guy with a stick up his rear end. You look like such a stiff on LinkedIn. And, now I meet you in real life. You're a goofball. You're funny. You're like a walking dad joke. He's like, you need to change your photo. Like, just be yourself. And I'll never forget that. That was probably like 2014, 2016. And so for me, I've just kind of embraced who I am, which in real life, I am a goofball and I love to have fun. And I don't take myself too seriously. And I want my clients to have permission to be themselves and have fun. And of course, I'm going to share my own values and opinions and ideas and insights, and also, bring business acumen and strategy around LinkedIn lead generation. But I'm going to do it in my own unique way, right? With fun and goofball and style. And I think that's really where you can get into some great content is, again, putting your personality in. So looking for authenticity instead of only sharing stock photos or polished photos of you or photo shoots or, just everything's pitch perfect. Do authentic photos, do behind the scenes photos, do a photo you snapped on your phone of you and your dog, right? Like just share real life photos, real life videos just in the moment. And as long as people can see and hear okay, they're going to get value out of it. And they're going to see you're a real person. And again, when they meet you in real life to become a client, to purchase something, they're going to have that connection and that trust built in through the content. Because that's the big advantage we have in today's marketplace that you didn't have in 1952 when Vincent Peale wrote those words, is they didn't have social media. Right now, you and I can create and deploy all this content, audio, video, books, you name it, and we can let content be currency that will buy the time, interest, and attention of prospects. In fact, I just had this conversation with someone on LinkedIn where they read my ebook. It was a franchise consultant, and I have an ebook, LinkedIn Lead Generation for Franchise Consultants. He said, yeah, I read your ebook. I like it. What time can we talk today? And I was like, whoa, okay, well, wait. Like, why don't you fill out my type form? I want to see if you're a good fit. Like, I'm going to vet you. But the idea was, if he really comes into that call having read an entire book that I wrote, and if he watches my video on the LinkedIn lead generation process I use for franchise consultants, he's going to be pre-sold on me. I don't have to tell him my backstory. I don't have to explain how my service works. I don't have to show him examples of other franchise consultants I've helped. I don't have to show him examples of LinkedIn profiles I've done. I don't have to show him examples of messages I've written or strategies or funnels. It's all in the book and the videos. So he already knows, oh, okay, this is what Nemo does. This is his approach. And oh, by the way, I put my personality into that book in the video. So he's going to come in. And like I had a sales call yesterday where a guy goes, yeah, you're just like your webpage, the guy with the bucket on his head playing Star Wars with his kids. And I love one of your videos. You said, don't get on a call if you don't want to have fun. And I'm having fun on the call. And I'm like, yeah, that's me, right? I'm a goof. So again, put that out there, and that content then becomes, the currency where people will remember you. That's how you stand out from 1 billion other people on LinkedIn, is just be yourself, because it's only you. And there's this big fear, which I had early on too, of, oh man, if I'm just myself, I'm not gonna win business. I have to be somebody different to win it, right? Like in the beginning, I thought I had to wear a suit and tie and be serious because I'm on LinkedIn and I want people to hire me to help, with their LinkedIn, and I have to be serious and stiff. And I realized very quickly, like, oh, well, yeah, sure, there's a small percentage or whatever percentage of people that want to wear a suit and tie and be stiff and formal, but that would bore me to tears. I wouldn't want to work with that person as a client. I want to work with people that I could go out and have a beer with and watch a game with and laugh with and be a goofball with. And oh, by the way, who are really good at business and really good at what they do. And so the more I've just put myself out there with my content and put my personality in and shared tips and ideas that help them, the more I've attracted the right type of client who said, yeah, I want to work with you because I think it'll be fun. And you don't take yourself too seriously. And I'm the same way. And I've repelled people that would have been nightmare clients that are like, no, you need to wear a suit and tie and dress up to talk to me. No, I don't want to. Right. So that's the other thing. And let me give you a real simple formula for this. This is my all-time favorite content formula, is personal story plus business lesson equals the content. So take your own life, take a personal story, a personal experience, plus a business lesson. And that becomes the content. That becomes your status update, your video, your podcast episode, your webinar, your article. Use your real life, use your real stories. So even for me, and the more you can be authentic with it and let your guard down, the more that content's going to resonate. So for example, I share wins and I share losses. Like I shared a LinkedIn article, this is years ago, about getting fired, right? I got fired at the height of the US recession in 2008, 2009. I was the sole earner for my family. I had 3 boys under the age of 5. My wife was not working. She was home taking care of the kids. We had a bunch of credit card debt. I wrote one angry email because a guy was baiting me about this newfangled technology called social media and Facebook. And I was the PR guy at the time for a trade association, and me and like the old guard were butting heads about using social media. And I was like, we got to get on this trend. Social media is going to be huge. And anyway, it went back and forth in writing on the executive committee stuff. And I snapped and wrote an angry email. And of course, got fired like an idiot, right? Because I wrote this dumb email where I didn't swear or do anything really bad. I just, I can see looking back at the email, like, yeah, you could read the tone and be like, that guy sounds crazy. He's really mad. Like, ooh, weird, right? Instead of not knowing that lesson as a young professional of your ability to handle people is what makes you rich. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? So I share that story like, listen, I got fired at the height of the recession, totally panicked, didn't know what I was going to do. I remember laying on my kitchen floor crying, after the kids went to bed, like, oh my God, we have all this debt. It's a recession. And then was able to pick myself up, dust myself off. And less than a week later, I got a new job that actually paid me $20,000 more in salary. And there's a whole story behind that, and I could link to it. But the point is, I made that into some content, like how, why I got fired and why you might too. And the lessons I learned from getting fired about how to handle people. I reference a great book I've never forgotten called Power. It's written by a guy named Jeffrey Pfeffer, Pfeffer, Jeffrey Pfeffer. It's called Power, Why Some People Have It and Others Don't. And it was all about workplace dynamics and how to handle your boss and how to handle other people. And of course, I didn't know at the time. I just thought performance would save me. That's the other part of that crazy story was I had won national awards for this job. I won national PR awards. I got our trade association for the first time ever on CNN and Fox News and NBC. I mean, I was killing it at my job. I had just gotten a $15,000 raise, and I still got fired because I wrote one dumb email. And my boss, the CEO, was like, well, I got to choose between the old guard or Nemo. The old guard wants him out of here. They're tired of his act, whatever. And she let me go. And that was that. And that was like, oh my gosh, so share some of those. I call them tales from the trenches because you've all been there and your audience is going to relate to that. And it's going to make you more of a relatable character in their mind. Like, oh, you're authentic. You're real. Like you've struggled too. For example, when I first started my business, I've shared content about that too, where, back in 2012, after I rallied, got a new job, got a raise, I was up to 6 figures and I had a safe day job and still had 3 young kids and my wife's at home, and I quit. I quit because I had this entrepreneurial itch. I wanted to scratch and try to go out on my own. So in 2012, with one client, enough money for 30 days, I quit this safe 6-figure day job. And again, that's where I started my agency, and that's where the book LinkedIn Riches came from. And, within the first 90 days, I was able to generate $135,000 in new business. So I was able to survive. But there were roller coaster years after that. So some years were great. Some years were not great. At one point, I had to take out a home equity loan to keep my business going. I had a lot of debt. And then I learned, right, over those years, being a small business owner, the ups and downs, how important mindset was. And once I really dove in and got my mindset right, my business took off and I was much more successful. But the whole point is I've shared that journey. And you don't make it an episode of Oprah or Dr. Phil and, just turn it into a pity party. You take the lessons that I trust someone more. Rick Warren talked about that, Purpose-Driven Life author. He said, I won't hire someone for leadership unless I know that they've been through the ringer and had really hard times in their life, because he goes, how else are they going to lead people if they haven't led themselves out of hard times? And how are people going to trust them and let their guard down if they don't feel like their leader has been through the ringer too? You know what I mean? And I think that's true. People want to relate to that. Now, You can obviously share your wins, which is what we all do. And there's plenty of opportunities there. And again, the other big thing with this, as far as like what should go into your LinkedIn content and, messages and all that, I've talked ad nauseum here about put your personality in, personal story plus content, or personal story plus business lesson equals the content. And that's where I want to talk about the business lesson. Demonstrate expertise. Don't hold back your best stuff. People are always shocked when they go through my books and my articles and my videos. They're like, you give everything away for free. Like I don't hold anything back. Like you can get every single bit of the secret sauce that I use for done for you LinkedIn lead generation clients for free online. If you go around and look everywhere and read the books, because I have nothing to hide, right? And the reality is, what I found is if you demonstrate expertise and you share your best tips, tricks, tactics, and strategies, people want to pay you to do it for them. There's always going to be a subset of people that say, hey, thanks for all the free advice. I'm going to take it and run with it myself. Just like I read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I probably paid $10 or $20 for the book. I've built a 7-figure business off that book, right? Dale Carnegie's long dead, right? And so I couldn't hire him anyway or give him money, but I've become like his number one sales guy. Anyone I ever talk to, I'm like, who wants advice on business or customer service or marketing, I'm like, go read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Change my life, change my business, right? Mindset books. I'll recommend those. And the point is, when you consume someone else's content, their free tips, and they're really good and you get good results and get wins, two things happen. Either you hire them to help you get to an even higher level or to do it for you because you so believe in their system and you've seen it already work at a small level for yourself, or you become their salesperson. You become their referral source. You become their cheerleader, and you tell everyone who's like, wow, you're killing it on LinkedIn. What's going on? Oh, yeah, I got this guy's book and his free tips. He's amazing. Go grab it. Here's all this stuff. Because other people are going to get it and go, oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to do all this. I'll just hire you to do it for me. And that's where the magic really happens. So with all that said, get after it. Go create content. Take these lessons to heart. I will put some links in the show notes to all the free resources I've been talking about. Appreciate you so much, and we'll see you soon on another episode.